How's it going, everybody? My name is nclough, and I'm a student at Florida State University taking an Introduction to Entrepreneurship course, ENT 3003. Today I'm interviewing Elizabeth Klaus from Silver Fox Antiques. It's an online retail store. Liz, tell me a little bit about your business and how you got started.
Well, it started quite a few years ago when we inherited a German grandfather clock that needed an extensive repair job that was very expensive. And Bob decided that he didn't want to pay for another repair, and he learned how to repair and restore antique clocks, which led getting into restoring and repairing antique furniture and then also small antiques as well. We got into malls, and that's basically what was available at that time.
Okay. What made you guys decide to get into the antiques besides just the clocks? Is that something you guys been doing for a long time before then, or was that just where you started?
Well, we both grew up in New England. His dad had been a machinist and had extensive background in New Hampshire. He was from New Hampshire. He grew up in New Hampshire, so there was a lot of history back there. I came from a family that had a lot of antiques in the family and was exposed to a lot of antiques growing up in New York City, the museums, and we went antique hunting on the weekends. That was something my dad liked to do.
Oh, okay. So you had an early passion for it then?
Yeah. I started collecting silver when I was about 13, 15 years old, early American coin silver.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't something that most people did.
Oh, okay. So how hard was it to initially get your business off the ground?
Getting the business off the ground was a little harder because he had got into the restoring and repairing of the antique clocks, which meant that he had to learn how to do it, get the equipment to do it, which is rather extensive, and get the parts, which are all antique. And that took a lot of time. It took a lot of time and effort, and there's not many people in the country that do a lot of antique repair and restoration of clocks in this country. You go to England or you go to Europe, and there's a lot of people that do it, but they go and they learn it for years. I mean, it's a craftsmanship that you learn, and you become a clockmaker. Here it's not done, so he had to learn it on his own.
Wow.
And yeah.
Well, with all that time learning how to build clocks and everything else, was there a large startup cost associated with it?
Yeah, there was. He did it as low as he could. He bought antique clocks. He made a lot of mistakes as he went along. He bought parts from clocks and then realized it was a Japanese clock from the 1800s, but it wasn't an American clock, so he couldn't use it. And so there were a lot of, you make those mistakes until you get the knowledge. And those can be expensive mistakes. He had a few expensive mistakes.
Okay.
You buy a clock and you find out that it has Japanese parts, but it's antique. Outside is American, but it's not worth the value you paid for it. So, yeah, there are a lot of mistakes, and they can be expensive when you're first getting into the business.
Okay. So you guys started off as a home business, and were you guys able to branch out to other locations?
Yes, we did get into other malls, antique malls basically, and stores, some small stores. In this business, generally speaking, you rent space within a store with other dealers. That's how it's done. And or you send things to auction, and it's traditionally been done that way. It's still done that way in this country. And having your own brick and mortar store as an antique store is very difficult. It's very expensive, and it's not very efficient. As time went on, the internet opened up, and that opened up a whole different set of parameters for the business.
Okay. So your initial brick and mortar store and everything else, how did you guys initially like market that business prior to going into the online side?
Mostly shows. They have the antique shows. We also did flyers. We did the flea market type thing. They have antique show type things out at the beach down here in Florida. They have indoor shows. We did those. We also did business cards built through referrals from other clients. He did repairs, and he always offered a 1-year guarantee, which was almost unheard of on his clockwork. So that built up clients. People came to us, and we also did information. People wanted stuff valued. We did that as well. Okay.
So was it just the initial expenses of the brick and mortar that brought you to the online, or were there some other reasons?
No. When we got into the small antiques, eBay had opened up by that point. And he started selling items, mostly the clocks and clock parts that he didn't need, on eBay. And that's how he started on eBay. But then we started branching out into small antiques, sterling silver, jewelry, antique jewelry, and we sold those on eBay. But we branched out into other sites, internet sites as well, that were predominantly meant for antiques and vintage items. And those were either buy it now or and not auction. eBay was predominantly an auction site.
Okay. So how do you guys find items that you sell?
That's always the hunt. That's the fun part. Everybody enjoys that. We go from New Hampshire all the way down to Florida, and we hunt in yard sales, barn sales, referrals from other customers. They'll ask us, we're downsizing a house. Is there something, can you take a look? Is there something you can give us a price on? And you find the best places, the most fun, are the barn sales up north in New England. You never know what you're going to find, literally. Mm-hmm. People throw things into barns for centuries, and you can find antique crystal that was from the Revolution and from the 1700s, and it's just incredible. It's untouched. Nobody's used it in hundreds of years, and it's there. And then you'll find antique gold fobs from the 1800s, watch fobs, all kinds of things, entire handwriting pieces we found from the 1600s in England. We found a piece of, it was basically a will.
Okay.
And that came from a New England barn.
Oh, okay.
So you find it all over the place. And from other dealers that haven't done their research.
Gotcha. So since you're doing a lot of this on eBay now and everything else, what roles do you think that social media plays in promoting your business?
Well, we're on a new site as well called Etsy. And social media on eBay has not predominantly played a huge role. But on other sites like Etsy, it does play a huge role. They don't do their own advertising, so you have to do your own advertising. You have to use Twitter, you have to use Instagram, you have to use all those other things, Facebook, Pinterest, to drive your items out there and onto the internet and bring the interest back to the site and get them to see your item. And that's how you do it. You use social media. And you also create networks with customers and a sense of community.
Okay. What recommendations do you have for someone that's trying to get into this business? Like a little bit of do's and don'ts for somebody new.
First thing is develop a relationship with other dealers so that you can get information. You have to be able to research your items. You have to know what you're buying, and you have to be able to research. If you don't research your items, you're going to get into trouble with your customers. Customer service, that's the beginning and the end of the business. In this business, you have to offer great customer service. Not good customer service, great customer service. And it extends beyond once the person has gotten the item to questions they may have about other items that they own. So it doesn't end.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you very much for speaking with me today. For everybody out there who watches, if you'd like to check them out online, I'll post their websites on the comments section. And everybody have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye.